So just who was Ned Kelly? Behind the famous steel armour was a man of many faces. He was a common criminal, he was a hero to the Irish immigrants who were persecuted by the establishment, and he was a bushranger who helped up an entire town, not just banks. In this video we will visit sites in Beveridge, Avenel, Stringybark Creek, Beechworth, Glenrowan, Benalla and Greta, where Ned's final resting place is. We will also visit the location in Melbourne where he was hanged in November 1880. First stop on our Ned Kelly touring route is Beveridge, Victoria. This house where Ned was born was built by John Red Kelly, Ned's father, in 1859. The original building was a 3-bedroom cottage with a veranda on 3 sides. The cottage was extended by Red in the early 1860s, adding an extra room with a stone chimney. The Kelly family lived here for about 4 years. When Ned was 10, the Kellys, now with 7 children, moved to Avenel in northern Victoria. Built in 1845, behind me at Beveridge here is the Hunter Tryst Hotel. I'm here in Avenel, and the old stone bridge behind me was built in 1860, and just downstream from here in 1865 Ned Kelly saved the life of 10-year-old Richard Shelton. Ned at the time was only 10 years old. For his bravery, Ned was awarded a 7-foot green sash. He prized that sash right up until the Glenrowan siege, where he wore it under his armour. It is now housed Costume and Kelly Museum in Benalla. The Kellys moved to the Avenel area in 1864, and Ned's dad, Red, was arrested and put in jail in 1864-65, and when he was released in 1866 he hit the grog and died that year of alcohol poisoning. So Avenel was pretty significant for the Kelly family, as Ned became the man of the house at age 12. Well, this is the Royal Mail Hotel that the Sheltons run, and it's just down from the old stone bridge that we looked at earlier. Descendants of Ned Kelly still own this land behind me, so we're not allowed to actually walk on it and get up close to the homestead. There's not much left of it now, it's just a chimney stack, but I overlaid some photos that are on the internet that I grabbed, and you can see what it looks like. It's a shame really, it'd be nice if they restored it and let people come in and have a look. The final resting place for Ned Kelly is the Greta Cemetery. His remains were relocated from the old Melbourne Jail in 2013. He is buried in an unmarked grave next to his mum Ellen. Other family members buried here are his sisters Margaret, Grace and Anne, along with his brother Dan and other gang member Steve Hart. Here we are in Beechworth, and this is a significant site behind us is the courthouse for the Kelly gang. Ned Kelly made 3 appearances here. One when he was age 14, other one was 16. He had one when he was 18 and 19, and then obviously the last one for the Glenrowan siege in 1880. Also his mother Ellen, she made a few appearances here in the courthouse, as did Dan Kelly and I believe Joe Byrne. So yeah, we'll go inside and take a look around. You can do a self-guided tour. I think it's $5 to get in, and kids are free. Yeah, so this is the holding cell where Ned Kelly was held before his trial, sitting in the seat that now Jacob's sitting in. Yeah, so behind me we have the holding cells for the prisoners back in the 1800s, and Ned Kelly was first locked up here in 1871 and his mother Ellen in 1878. So yeah, we just had a walk around in the courthouse, quite interesting. The lady was telling us a bit about Ned Kelly. He was first in the courthouse standing trial at age 14. Yeah, very interesting walk around in the courthouse. Give you a little map, and yeah, had a replica of his armour there. Well, here we have the original site of the Imperial Hotel that famously Ned Kelly had the fist fight in 1874. It's obviously no longer here now, it's long gone, but there's accommodation here now that you can stay at, 56 High Street. We have booked a 45-minute guided tour of the Beechworth Jail, and Jacob is excited, so I better get in because he doesn't want to be late.
This guard can see and hear everything that's going on. And hearing is important. In the 1800s, much of the 1900s, you were forbidden from speaking whilst in jail unless it was work-related, and it had to be a whisper. So once you walk in that door, silence. And I found a record from a prisoner in 1909. He got an extra day in jail for communicating with words.
Prisoner Jacob, yes, he is asleep. Back in the 1800s, once prisoners entered the prison, a mask was put over the top of them like a hood, and they couldn't communicate. If they communicated, they got extra time. Yeah, so in the mid 1800s, they needed blocks to build this jail, and the prisoners spent 10-hour days, 6 days a week, carving out these, making bricks basically, and the smaller ones in the wall here takes 2 days to make, and the larger ones, which are on the entrance, they took 2 weeks to make one block. So it took 6 years to make all the blocks, and then they got contractors in to build the jail because they didn't trust the prisoners. Here we have the old Benalla Hotel, where the police set up headquarters to come up with a plan to capture the Kelly gang. Behind me here in Benalla, we have the old courthouse that Ned made 2 apprentices in. Once when he was 14, he was charged with highway robbery. That's just a trunked up charge, and the charges were dismissed because there was no evidence. The second time was in 1877, when he was charged with drunkenly riding a horse down the main street of Wangaratta. Behind me here, opposite the courthouse in Benalla, is the bootmaker shop where the epic fight between Ned Kelly and the police took place after Ned was arrested for drunkenness. Ned suspected the police spiked his drinks because Ned hardly ever touched a drop. Stringybark Creek to me signifies the moment Ned Kelly's fate was sealed. 3 policemen were killed and the Kelly gang became Australia's most wanted. Here we are at Stringybark Creek, and we're just walking down to the site where the shootings took place at the Kelly Tree way back in October 26, 1878. 3 policemen were killed: Lonergan, Kennedy and Scanlon. McIntyre, he escaped and went back to Mansfield and rung the alarm, and then there was a search party sent out trying to find them. The Kellys are long gone. So what happened on that eventful day is the Kellys heard a gunfire shot, so they come looking to see what it was, and they found that the police had set up camp not far from their camp. So they hid in bushes, and when the opportunity comes, they entered the site, but only McIntyre was there. So he surrendered, and then they sat out and waited for the others to return. And when they returned, they told him to alert the police to surrender. And first off, they just thought it was a joke, and they disembarked their horses. Kellys came out from the bushes and asked them to surrender. However, they pulled their guns and a shootout began. And that ended up with 3 policemen dead. McIntyre escaped, and he went back to Mansfield to ring the alarm. This is Ned Kelly, 1878.
Was that his helmet inside?
Just someone made it up. I think it was blacksmith, the local blacksmith. Yeah, so the lack of a monument here at Stringybark Creek led to a local to make up a replica of Ned Kelly's helmet and burn it into the tree to mark a memorial to the 3 policemen, Scanlon, Kennedy and Lonergan, who lost their lives here on October 26, 1878. Here at Stringybark Creek, there's a 1.4 kilometre walk you can do, and it's got signs along the way which point out significant spots in the area. And just back there, I read one sign. They said 1 mile from here, the Kellys built a house at Wambullock Creek, and they had 20 acres cleared, and they were farming it, and they could have easily stayed here forever if it wasn't for the police search party that was in the area. So on that fateful day, October 26, 1878, everyone knows what happens then. So they could have easily camped out here for years. I'm just looking down at the moment every few metres because I nearly stood on a snake back there. And we've got the perfect snake clothing on. We've got shorts and thongs. This is the location that they found Kennedy's body. They didn't find him for for 4 days later, on the 30th of October 1878, and he's about 400 metres southwest of the police camp. So obviously he was either ran away and he got shot, or yeah, I'm not sure, they're unsure of the reasons why he was found so far away from the others. Sorry, 2 gunshot wounds, one was a close range shotgun blast.
Following the Stringybark Creek murders, £8,000 reward became the world's richest reward.
Here I am at Woolshed Flat. It's only roughly about 10-minute drive from Beechworth, and then this location in these hills somewhere, don't know exactly where, couldn't find out exactly, but along this stretch of road or this hill was Aaron Sherritt's hut, and in 1880 Dan Kelly, Joe Byrne came in and killed him, which started the chain of events leading up to the Glenrowan siege. So yeah, very interesting. I got a mud map from the Information Centre in Beechworth, and they'll give you all the locations around the area of the Kelly Gang's history. Yeah, so behind me, guys, is the location of the Ann Jones Inn. That's where the siege took place back in 1880. At the time, the Kelly gang took in the whole town. Basically, it was hostage. They had 60 people held up in the hotel, and 40 at the time of the actual shootout itself. They underestimated how long it was going to take for the police to come here from Melbourne, and Ned Kelly actually didn't have any sleep for 2 days. So yeah, they were pretty well fatigued by the time the shootout started. They used to have a sign here that said that it was basically a replica of the original Ann Jones Inn sign, but yeah, that's obviously long gone because nothing's here now. It's just these 2 statues of Ned Kelly and the plaque which commemorates or shows you the location. Yeah, here I am at one of the closest position the police held while they tried to get the Kelly gang to come out of the hotel, and it's literally only across the road, so what, 30 metres. And yeah, when Ned Kelly first came out and shooting, one of the, or I think it was his name, Superintendent Hare, he took the first shot at Ned and couldn't believe that he didn't fall. And that's when they realised that they had some kind of armour. So they retreated back behind the trees and the logs and took cover. They've got 2 statues here, and that's signalling where the police actually held up position in the early hours. Yeah, not very far, just literally across the road. I don't know if you can see this white post here. It's a tree just opposite the Ann Jones Inn site, and in 1997 they found a revolver here. They believed to be one of the policemen from the siege. So that's unbelievable. Over 117 years after the siege at Glenrowan, they found one of the pistols below this tree. I don't know if you can see these 2 figures here. That's where the police are retreated across this little creek here, and yeah, they took cover behind trees. So it's roughly, you can see my car in the distance over there. That's where the Ann Jones Inn is, and yeah, they retreated, what's that, 30 metres back. Yeah, so we're obviously in Siege Street, Glenrowan, and they've got some really good information boards located around each site, and they've got these little figures of the police and that, and you can actually picture how the siege unfolded 140 years ago. Yeah, pretty cool. So back in June 1880, 2 kilometres down the railway line here, Thomas Curnow alerted the train driver of the derailment of the train, and he pulled up the train, and the police disembarked here at Glenrowan station. And they proceeded just 150 metres on the other side of this park here to the Ann Jones Inn, where they took up their positions ready for the shootout. Yeah, behind me here we have the original lockup that was at Greta, and as a 14-year-old Ned Kelly spent time in this lockup. And it was a bit ironic, they relocated it here in 1880, right next door to the Ann Jones Inn. Yeah, just behind me here, not far from the Ann Jones Inn, maybe 50-60 metres. This is the site that they captured Ned Kelly after policeman Steele shot him and he fell to the ground. He had actually 28 bullet wounds when they captured him. They're remarkable actually. And Ned Kelly obviously come out of the Glenrowan Inn, and it was his last stand. He was going to have a final shootout with the police and take down many of them as he could. And he was actually taunting police by banging his the butt of his pistol on his breastplate. And yeah, obviously the police didn't like that, and they just opened fire. And it was policeman Steele who finally took him down, and they captured him just here.
Well, Glenrowan definitely cashes in on the image of Ned Kelly and his story. All throughout the town, there's memorabilia, statues, and references to the Ned Kelly King. There's even a Ned Kelly Last Stand reenactment museum. There's also a huge Ned Kelly statue in the main street. And at the Glenrowan Hotel, they have the Ned Kelly Bar. And opposite the Glenrowan Hotel, they're building something. I dare say it's going to be a museum or some kind of centre for Ned Kelly. But yeah, they definitely cash in on the Ned Kelly image and story. The committal hearing of Ned Kelly took place in Beechworth on the 6th of August 1880. Judge Barry was under a lot of pressure to have Ned sentenced to death, and as quick as possible. Ned had a lot of sympathisers in the Beechworth area, so Judge Barry decided to move the trial to Melbourne. The trial began on November 28, 1880 and was over by November 30. Judge Barry appointed a green, inexperienced lawyer for Ned Kelly because he wanted the trial over and done with within a day, as he wanted to attend the Spring Carnival and Melbourne Cup. Well guys, we'll wrap this video up here. I hope you enjoyed this video on Ned Kelly country and his story. It's my take on the story. I'm not a historian, so I don't profuse on it back to front. I've just read along the way and things I picked up during this journey. So if I've got it wrong, I'll try and put the correct information over the video. So until next time guys, take care and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching Legends. Please subscribe, hit the bell icon which will encourage me to create more content like this. Until next time, take care and I'll see you in the next video.